All right, everybody, it's BeauMac back in the Good Rancher's kitchen, and we're gonna rock out a little sweet and smoky salmon fillets using that beautiful wild-caught salmon. I like to get that salmon up to room temperature and pat it as dry as possible with just a light paper towel. Get some of that residual moisture out of that salmon. This salmon in this application is great because it brings a nice little flavor boost to the salmon, but we're really letting the salmon kind of stand up at their own. And if you're a grill master or a smoker, this is gonna work both ways, but today we'll keep it simple and we'll grill it for you. So I'm gonna start with a tiny bit of brown sugar. Just kind of make sure it's kind of crumbled up and loose a little bit. I'm thinking like 2 tablespoons. And this is your base for your little smoky rub. That's the sweetness, obviously. And then I've got some beautiful kosher salt. Don't have to go too heavy. Almost equal parts. I use a little bit less salt than sugar. And just get that in the bowl and make sure it's incorporated well. I have some dried basil that I want to throw in. I also like to break that up a little bit. You know, basil is, whenever you're using a dried herb, it's gonna be more intense. It's gonna add a little bit more flavor to your dishes. It's like using a fortified stock versus a soup base. So add that basil in there, maybe a teaspoon or so. I've got some beautiful coarse black pepper. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Pepper too, when you want to use pepper, if you want to toast your peppercorns up a little bit, you'll get a lot more residual oil, you get a lot more pepper flavor. And then I have some harissa powder. Beautiful. And I have a little smoky paprika that I want to put in the bowl. And that's really a rub. Now, what's cool about rubs is you can make them in advance. They can sit in a glass jar right above your stove. They're there for you when you need them. These type of rubs that I like to work with, they're very versatile. I have 5 kids. Sometimes I have to cook 5 different meals. So what's cool about this rub, it will work with steak, it'll work with fish, it'll work with chicken, and you can get a lot of bang for the buck on it. Super simple to make. And then really, before you go out to the grill, I just want to lightly drizzle a touch of olive oil on my salmon. And this is really just binding it. Just a solid little tiny coating. Nothing too crazy, rub it on. You know, a lot of people use cedar planks, and stuff. But at the end of the day, when you have a little binder like this, and then let's season that up high, just so I'm getting my coating evenly on that fish. I'm gonna have the salt, the pepper, a little sweetness from the brown sugar, and then that harissa and smoked paprika is gonna kick in, and you're gonna have some beautiful grilled, wild-caught salmon fillets from Good Ranchers. All right, guys, we rubbed down our salmon. Beautiful little rub on here, harissa, a little chili powder, just some good flavorings, brown sugar, some salt, and we just wanna get that on the grill nice. Just lay it down gently, and we're gonna leave it alone. Some beautiful little color on that fish. Just enough to brown up those spices, make them absolutely delicious. One of the things I like to do last with this little wild-caught salmon is baste it and just give it a little glaze. That has lime juice and fresh honey. Add some of that sweetness and some of that acid to that fish, brings out those smoky flavors. And there you go, guys. That is the Good Ranchers wild-caught Atlantic salmon with the sweet and smoky spice.